Welcome to a Suburban edition of Lama Live. We're off to, where are we going today, Von?
Off to Port Melbourne.
Port Melbourne. We live in sort of north of Melbourne, so it's about a 15k drive or so over to Port Melbourne for a sale of bike clothes. So we'll see what we can pick up. How you doing, Von?
Good. I'm so happy it's the weekend. It's going to be beautiful weather, sunny. Going to get out for a couple of rides this weekend. Should be good.
Yep, so 31 today, I think, 32 tomorrow. And then I think winter kicks in for Melbourne. So we're seeing everyone else in the States, Europe, UK, everyone's sort of coming, brushing their bikes off and taking them outside. We're about to convert to the other way around. Though the weather doesn't get too bad here, but we're going to make the most of the rest of the summer that we have here.
Yeah, winter is coming.
So join us along with the ride. You can download these as a podcast as well if you want the MP3 version. But if you're not familiar with Lama Live in the car, we drive and talk bikes and arrive at where we're heading.
Yep.
Kills the time for us. And we like having everyone else along for the ride as well. So this week, I guess we'll do a weekly wrap. Probably the biggest thing that happened on social media this week in cycling, from what I've seen, was the goat. The Strava Goat. Now, the backstory is some people over in Perth. A group of riders drew a goat, a big goat. I'll put up the picture of the goat here.
200-kilometre goat.
200 kilometres, so what's that, 160 miles or 150 miles? Or I think someone said 120, it's been reported everywhere. This thing went viral. It was a viral goat. I saw what they'd done, and it only had about 20 or 30 kudos. And I'm like, I've got to help this out. So I've screen capped the picture of the goat, linked to the thing and said, this is the most magnificent thing I've ever seen. Go and give the goat some kudos. And I think a few news agencies and things picked that up.
Yeah.
And it's gone crazy. So I'll link through to the goat below as well. Give those guys some kudos. Guys and girls, I believe, who were involved in drawing that goat over 8 hours. It was magnificent. And that's taken off. I was actually reading one of the news articles on the BBC or some news agency actually picked it up and ran the story. And as I scrolled to the bottom, they actually linked to my tweet. So it was surreal to see my name there. I wasn't involved. I'm just a bystander.
And enjoying the goat.
Yeah, I was just a big fan of the goat. So I linked through to it. Everyone's seen it. They've had radio interviews. It's brilliant. It's so cool.
Go the goat.
Yeah, so that was awesome. That's everything cycling, Australia, and it was Perth, and we love Perth. So that was good to see. What else happened this week? The Elemnt Bolt from Wahoo was out.
Wahoo!
So the new little...
What? Did you bring it along?
It comes everywhere. I like this thing. If it can save us 12 seconds over 40 k's on a bike, imagine what it's going to save us in the car.
Well, we could have used turn-by-turn directions on that one.
Oh, I don't even want to try. But yeah, that's my theory. I mean, if it saves that much time on the bike, having this in I don't know how it saves time. I think it's a time travel device.
It is. It must have a TARDIS.
Has to be. So we're going to get there a little quicker today by having the Bolt in the car. I'm only kidding. It's more aero. That's what they're claiming. I'm not really buying into the aerodynamic claims, but it's actually quite sleek. Anyhow, enough of that. Wahoo actually contacted me a while ago about that, well, a few weeks back. And it only arrived 6 hours before the embargo lifted. Hence my video of me quickly talking about, well, it's easy for me to talk quick, but I had to quickly get some content up about it, and I'm like, well, I can't talk about it and not ride the thing. So I jumped out, and hence the sunset shot when I was talking about it right at the end. And the embargo lifted that night,
Midnight,
12 a.m. our time. So we got some content out there on that, and then I did a follow-up video as well after I went for a bit of a spin with it. But it seems to work okay. Functionality-wise, exactly the same as the original Elemnt, but it's just a little smaller, a little easier to use. Well, with the buttons and things, I find it a little easier on the top. Yeah, it's a good one. Price point's got the snag with me though. In the US, it's $249 US. If you convert that, that's $324 Australian. Plus 10% for our GST tax, which brings up to about $354. Don't run the math. That's rough ballpark. I would have liked to see this hit the shelves in Australia for $349. That's not a bad price point. Like you're looking at that going, well, it's not quite $400. No, it's hit the shelves at $399.99. So $400. It's like, yeah. And as we know, I like a good bargain. I like good value because for me, it's about the experience.
Yeah.
And if I can do it cheaper.
So what's this competing with in terms of the Garmin market?
They're going direct for the 520. We've seen with all my stats, if you guys have seen the
500 series,
the stats I pull out of everything from Strava, and there's another ride today I'll pull out some stats from, and we'll cover that later on. happening down at the Great Ocean Road here. Beautiful day for it down there for a ride. So it's a Fondo kind of ride. I'll pull the stats out from that. But what we see is the Garmin 500 series and dominates. So it'd be crazy for Wahoo to aim at the 820 when no one's using an 820.
Yeah.
We do. I like the new tech, and it's working okay with the touchscreen now once it's been fixed. But that's what they're aiming for. I think they've done a good job.
Good.
And the response has been pretty good as well. The response has been, it's exactly what they needed. Like, functionality-wise, it's the same. But they just needed something that looked a little sexier.
Okay, cool.
So that's done the trick. Anyhow, check out my videos on those. Wahoo themselves are also in the comment section of my videos.
Oh.
That's kind of cool. It still surprises me. We hit 20,000 followers this week, so the channel's just continuing to go up, which still blows me away.
That was confetti, by the way, and fireworks.
Now happens in Zwift.
What?
When you get a PB in Zwift, you'll actually explode in confetti explodes if you get a PB. But there's also some bug happening that when you ride past someone at random points quite a lot during the game, people are just exploding confetti coming the other way.
That's awesome.
I don't know what's happening.
Finally, some new innovation.
Might be a Mardi Gras thing. Yeah, that was recent, wasn't it? So everyone just confetti everywhere.
Woohoo!
But anyway,
Cool.
what was I going? Let me go back to where I was with all that. So Wahoo Bolt, channel's going well.
Yeah, channel's going well.
Got the stuff out after embargo, and it's also been the most successful week of companies sort of, I guess, noticing what I'm up to. Again, I'm still just a guy like everyone else. There's nothing up my sleeve. I don't work in the bike industry as such. I'm not a bike mechanic. I'm just a dude with a camera who turns it on and is happy to get out there and put my face on the screen and talk shit for a while.
Yeah.
And Von's pretty, so we put Von on camera too.
When I have time.
So Von, what was your comment about the Bolt, about the aerodynamic... Yeah, okay, I'll tell the story because it'll embarrass Von, but this is why we love Von. Von was asking him, what's the benefits? What's it all about? And I said, well, they're claiming it's more aero. Von cracks up laughing and says, yeah, the one thing people can't test. Let's claim it's more aero. I piss myself laughing. Spot on. Look, it is more aero, but can you test that? Nah. It's all about the user experience. Anyhow, enough about the Bolt. What else is happening this week? Cyclops Hammer. I had a loan of that last weekend. Only a loan. I didn't get to keep this one. So I've got a video coming out on that.
When's it coming out?
Oh, when I get around to it. Here's the trick. I've got all the rides done on it, but all the footage of me riding it, I didn't get any footage of me actually riding the device. So we've got the sort of the unboxing, the build, but I have ridden it in the past. I rode it over in Long Beach last year, so I'll just sort of shoehorn some footage of the ride experience from elsewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
I like to have everything in one timeline. But I had enough rides.
You can try something different with it then. Yeah.
I've got other
composition.
footage. Yeah, I've got other footage. I'll shoehorn in for that. But I've got the important stuff. You know, the weight, how it rides, some data responsiveness out of it all, and on that as well, I've been in discussion with the guys from Saris PowerTap, same company.
I liked the look of it. Like it looks like a good device. You know, strong.
I got to smash it with
the legs that
I got to smash it with a real hammer.
Oh.
Stay tuned for that one. I even told I even told the guy who lent it to me that I'd actually smashed it with a hammer to show how strong it was. He's like, oh, I'm like, no, it's okay. Didn't break it. But I've got to do something different because if you do the same
Speed holes.
Anyhow, so watch out for my review of the Cyclops Hammer coming out with me smashing it with a real hammer. Indy Pacific Wheel Race. Indian Pacific Wheel Race starts today. IndyPac starts... It started about an hour and a half ago.
In Perth time.
Perth time, which is about 3 hours or 2 hours different to Melbourne at the moment in that direction. So if you're a fan of the Maven, Maven's kicked it off as well. Maven started. So we've got, who else? We've got Maven, Durian Rider, we've got Rhino.
Sarah Hammond.
We've got Jesse Carlson. Like there's just a number of names that we'll all be following along. I've got a computer screen at home set up just with the live tracking. So we'll have that for the next couple of weeks behind us at home so we can just track everyone along. I'll link below as well to the live tracker of the IndyPac. And what they said this week is social media is their stadium. And I like that. I like that because it's going to be lonely for them out there. Like, there's nothing out there for most
Good luck with
it.
them with social media as their coverage with the bloody Australian internet.
Yeah, that's a whole problem in itself. But it's good. I think the support online is going to be so important for them because it's all self-supported. You can't request, no one. You can't really draft anyone. You can't ride with anyone. You can't. It's all yourself. So it's going to be up here for those guys. So I think online is going to be a massive one for them for support. for messages of support when they're down. Even sending them,
But are they allowed to have access? Because wasn't it the one that Sarah Hammond did over in the US when she was going in the wrong direction? No one could message her to tell her that she was going the wrong way.
I don't know the specific rules, but I think it'd be crazy if they didn't.
Yeah.
People are connected.
Yeah.
You can't disconnect people.
Yeah, well, I think they should have it on, so that's fantastic if they can. And like you said, that moral support when you're out in the middle of nowhere. Hey, even if it's a saved message from, people giving you that support, that's fantastic.
Yeah, just
amazing motivation.
Scrolling back through the messages. So let's get on top of that, everyone. I'll link below to the IndyPac website, which has a link to all the live tracking, people's social channels and things like that. So let's see how they all go.
Yeah. Good luck.
It's really quiet here when the car turns itself off. It's kind of bizarre.
Nap time.
I'm getting used to this Subaru cutting the engine off when we're stopped. I'm not quite sure of the marginal gains.
There's other good features, like I was saying to Nicole yesterday, with this being able to see the speed limit when you can't see signs.
But that's also
really
wrong
like
in a few sections because the maps don't update. So anyhow, technology, it's great up until a point. So all my trainers that I've got, a lot of my videos, if you've seen, I've got a massive pile of smart trainers lined up. People are asking, why have I got so many? Geez, just another smart trainer. What do you do with them all, etc., etc. Well, first of all, I like to have one of everything. It's a bit of Noah's Ark. Well, they don't breed, so I don't need two. I have one of everything because I'm on the beta group of Wahoo, Tax, and I'm in discussions with Cyclops as well to be on the beta group and give them feedback on new features.
And so when you've got a device, they can put new software out to have new features. Okay, I'm with you.
And we're still seeing that even this week. My original kicker, anti-ID of 66. This was really, this is 3-4 years ago. There's a new firmware out for that, which we're testing firmware today about, responsiveness and it's switching different modes and things like that. So it's really handy to see what they're doing with the smart trainers. There's a few smarts they're still putting into them. That's why I have one of everything. If I've got more than one of everything, I then hire them out. I usually buy them secondhand anyway. If I see them cheap, I'm like, how can you not buy a kicker for $800? So I'll buy it for $800 and I rent them out. In Australia, I charge about do charge $50 a week, which is most people, and my biggest market, the collarbone market. Now I've done 4, Von's done 1.
2.
Oh, you've done 2? So it's common that a cyclist these things are like chicken wings, they just break. So people are like, oh, well, I don't want to go and buy a smart trainer for the 4, 5, 6 weeks I'm not out in the road, but I want the experience of still riding my bike. Because most of the time when you break a collarbone, you're fit. If you're racing, you're fit. You want to keep that fitness. So people are like, oh shit, I want to hold on to the fitness. So it's a huge market for me. So most of my smart trainers, every smart trainer that I have 2 of, number 2, 3, and 4 go out and are hired out. So if you're in Melbourne, you need a smart trainer, or even if you just want to get into smart trainers.
If you want to see what it's like, yeah. Try it for a month. Give it a shot.
Yeah. I hide in plain sight. You can contact me below or through any medium. I had someone come around yesterday, and first thing he did, showed me his X-rays. Hey Shane, check this out. I'm like, yes.
I love a good X-ray.
We call it X-ray porn. We love looking at X-rays. Jono Lovelock, good mate of mine. We used to trade crash stories. Then we used to trade X-ray photos, X-ray pictures. So we became quite good at diagnosing our own collarbone breaks and things. And so Joe pulls out his X-rays, and I'm like, oh mate, you got a hook? Oh, and the plates, pins, or hooks, and you got a plate with a hook. I'm like, oh no. He's like, yeah, I know, I can't pull my. I'm like, I know, I'm all across it. So we got a hook in. He's got a plate on the other side as well. And I said, oh, by the way, my surgeon's Martin Richardson. I've got him on quick dial. Martin's looked after me for 3 or 4 or 5 of my breaks. He's been really, really good. He goes, yep, went to Martin Richardson. I'm like, love his work.
So road trauma.
Yeah, well, that's what it is. So small world. But if you're in Melbourne and you want a smart trainer, or you want to try the experience of a smart trainer, let me know. I call it Ergo B&B.
I love that. Let me make a picture for it.
Ergo B&B. It's like Airbnb. Well, I could call it Ergba, as in Uber. But I'm not delivering. You've got to come pick them up.
Yeah.
They're heavy.
They are heavy. So if you've got a broken collarbone, get a mate.
I can lift them. Well, Joe yesterday, I lifted the box into his car. I didn't ask who was going to lift the box out of the car. They're about 25 kilos each.
Yeah.
But that's really good to be able to, like with the channel here, which all the things I put up on YouTube and the blog and the social media channels, it's about having everyone have a better experience. Either on the bike, indoors, outdoors, it's working really, really, really well. And so to have that kind of influence, I'm really happy.
Yeah, it's a great community.
That's ticking boxes for me. And the response, as I said the other day, initially when I was doing vlogs of, hi, so what I'm up to on a daily, go down for a coffee, talk about this, and do a daily life blog thing, it's really funny because people will then start attacking you and your decisions and it was really weird. I'm like, hang on, it's not about me. And I think it was Pete F. Thanks again, mate, Pete F. Love your work. I think the best advice I got was, present things, present the content, don't be the content.
Sure.
And that was, from then on, I'm like, yeah, shit, you've got it. That's right. And
yeah, look, Shane, Carly Kloss.
No.
So you're not a supermodel, and people aren't following you for your life. So.
I'm not a supermodel?
No.
Shit.
You could code like Clossy, but.
Though someone did give me red hair.
Still not a model.
God,
with a
damn
red
it.
head.
Damn it. Someone sent that in on Facebook, so I had to throw it up as a temporary profile picture the other day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you, Internet, for the love. But yeah, back on that, presenting equipment and experience with unboxing things and just, here's how I'm stumbling through this new tech. Does it work? Does it not? That's been, it's the kind of videos that I want to watch. That's the content that I make. It sounds pretty, I guess, circular, but I really like being able to share that experience. So even the things like the cable this week, which converts, another video I did during the week, which converts ANT Plus to Bluetooth.
Yeah.
ANT Plus is seen as an older standard, which it is, but it just bloody works. It just works.
Yeah.
And a lot of the new things, well, especially for your iPhones, iPads, iDevices, everything supports only Bluetooth or Bluetooth Smart. So when you've got an ANT Plus device and a Bluetooth-only receiver, you're like, this little thing sits in the middle and converts one to the other flawlessly. And it was funny. It connected before I even unboxed it. It connected.
Oh, wow.
And it wanted a firmware update before I'd unboxed it. That just was like, this is just working then, isn't it? It just connects. That's kind of cool.
That's how I like my technology.
Yeah, absolutely. And things like that don't even require really coverage on YouTube. So I just become what do you call it when somebody just exposes something that's out there? A technology introducer? It's like, hey, I've solved this problem this way. Like if it's like a new device or a new hammer's out there, you don't know it's out there until you've seen it or heard about it. And these kind of devices are, I guess, a little niche. You're not going to see them in bike magazines. You may see them covered. You won't see them in the general tech media, like your GCNs, your cycling tips, your cycling news is probably not really going to cover these devices because they're kind of edge case. Well, shit, most of the stuff I do is kind of edge case.
Niche, yeah.
Indoor cycling, fanatical with power. Power response time of trainers and things. Like people are like, it just works. No, I sort of dive a little bit deeper into that. And I think that's sort of the value add for my content. There's a lot of other channels coming out these days. You want that lane? Because this one banks up. There's a ton of people coming into the market now with trainer reviews. And I saw on Reddit this week, there's quite a few people trying to introduce themselves into the market. If we're the best trainer reviews, we've been doing it for a while, that's great, but just don't copy everyone else.
Get a new angle.
Ray is the king of this, and there's no question about Ray being absolutely spot on, covered everything. Even I refer to Ray stuff all the time.
Yeah.
I link to Ray stuff. I use his analysis tool, and rather than compete with Ray, I'm now thinking, look, I'm not going to go head to head with producing exactly the same content. I'll actually accompany the content. I'll add stuff to the side. I'll show you the general user experience from an Aussie. In my way of doing things. And I had a comment this week saying, look, Shane, thank you so much for your contribution to covering this product. I think it was the Bolt. He said it's a great addition to Ray stuff. So go read Ray stuff and jump over and have a look at my stuff for my approach on things. And that's my advice for anyone else coming into the space. Welcome along. But yeah, just do it your way. And if you want, do it better.
Yeah, innovation. That's what we like as well.
And think outside the square. Think absolutely outside the square. If you can you can't really run off the road. He was thinking outside the road. Or on a bridge, you wouldn't have gone far. Yeah, have a decent angle. Have your own angle at it. Do something different. Because, to become forest in the trees. What else we got going on? I'm not sure if you can actually see Melbourne at the back of the car there. But yeah, it's a brilliant day here in Melbourne. So coming up this week, rain. 2
Rain's
days
coming up.
Yeah, 2 days of beautiful weather, so we'll be out for a couple of rides, and then it's going to start raining and get pretty cold. But we'll be inside, more training, and just whatever flies past the desk, I guess.
Yeah, let's plan some rides away somewhere then, and go where it's warmer.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to, during Melbourne's winter, I think we'll have to go north again. Last year we did Cairns, Townsville, Darwin. That's all. I
think I need to take you to the Gold Coast because you haven't done all of those rides yet.
Gold Coast? It's a bit fake, isn't it?
No.
I don't know.
Head up to the hinterland, it's beautiful.
Okay, so not the beach. I've seen Bondi Inc. and, you know, all those... Bondi is
It's a bit south.
Yeah. Same.
Cool.
Same.
We'll come up with an adventure plan.
So we're off to get some new bike clothes now. Well, Von's going to get some more bike clothes.
Always need more.
I just take whatever I can find. Will there be a market, or is there a market, let me know, for indoor-specific cycling clothing? I don't wear a top indoors unless I'm filming something, because they're too hot, they're too heavy.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sweat up in them. I wear an undertop, because once they get sort of wet, they cool a little bit, or once you sweat in them. Is there a market for cycle indoor-specific clothing?
I like that concept.
So I'm not talking fishnet stocking style, lightweight kind of things, but what could you do there with indoor cycle clothing? The padding would probably be the same. You won't want too much padding because you're still riding a bike. But I'm thinking a real lightweight, especially on the side.
So quick dry, lightweight.
Quick dry.
But the sun factor isn't an issue.
UV's not a problem.
Yeah, you could be in a spin studio. You could be at home.
Because I've been approached by a few companies who make just kit and it's just designs, and my reply to them is, if you've got a technical design that's been tested in a wind tunnel with certain aerodynamic properties, yes, I'll cover you, and yes, I'll look into stuff like that, and yes, let's do a Lama kit. But if it's just a printed pattern on a standard kit, it's just the same as everything else. So that's, again, it's
What's your innovation?
Yeah, it's my unique angle and innovation of tech and things like that. So, and look, unfortunately, a lot of companies just don't reply to that one. I'm like, well, take it and run with it. But indoor cycle clothing, what do you think? Let me know below if you've got any ideas of what we could do there. I think it's good. I mean, a lot of my cycling's indoors, and a lot of it will be indoors over winter. I'd like some really lightweight nicks, chuck on. Maybe, do we even have bib nicks? Is that worthwhile even having indoors? Why would you want bib nicks? If you want to go to the toilet for guys and girls,
but it's the cut-in factor as well. I don't like
around the
in around your waist.
Good.
So when you're on the bike,
yeah,
sure, it might hold your pants on, but much prefer bib nicks.
Okay.
But modesty factor, I would like something on top.
Also, bib nicks you've got those Specialized or whatever, or the Rafa ones with a clip on the back, so chicks can just go to the toilet easily without having to take a top
Specialized.
off.
They're awesome.
I think even as guys, if you want to go to the number 2s, it's easier to have a clip on the back, and it's not as if the clip is going to be heavier, or it's not going to get in the way when you crash, because you don't crash indoors. I think it might be a way to go. Anyway, ideas. I'd love them, guys. Really, the feedback is all from you, and let's take it and run with it. If we can do some indoor-specific clothing.
Sounds
now, I
good.
know I'm the first one to say, just not another bloody clothing brand, but it's for a purpose. Speaking of for a purpose... Morning, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Oi, that took a while.
Get your hands off my merchandise.
So this is what happens when you're as average as nothing's in your size. Actually, I'll do a bell curve of going to a warehouse sale. It's going to go, here's where everything's for sale, here's everything that fits me, and here's everything else for sale. If you're like me, I'm in the middle. Von, they should be called outlier sales.
Yeah, I couldn't find anything that was a complete set that worked.
Not really my style, but okay.
Yoga pants.
Yoga pants. Let me shed some light on the yoga pants. Okay. What else we got?
Winter bib nicks.
Sorry, we've taken our microphones off for this, but so we'll have to yell. Winter bib nicks. Holy. Another set?
Black plain nicks, American fit. So it didn't have any labels on it. I had to dig through the racks to find that one, but it's got the back clip that we were talking about.
Okay, yeah. So what I was talking about before is there's chicks...
Nicks.
Actually, Von, you better drive. I'll explain.
Thank you.
And on the back, you can actually press a button. Let me show you how intuitive this tech is.
It's a hook.
Oh, okay. It just hooks out. So if you want to take your nicks off, you can actually go squat.
Unhook. Go to the bathroom.
Okay,
Easy.
that's a bit. Go to the bathroom. So
yeah.
And they just hook back up.
You don't have to take your jersey off. Just Hook's on.
Hey, here we go. Okay, so you just hook up. So I think if I was doing indoor cycling clothing,
Yeah.
because a lot of the time you want to get off, and I mean, you're at home, you got the toilet there. If you want to go to the toilet, you can just, oh, there we go. I figured it out. See, I didn't read the manual. Oh, it's magnetic. Okay, now I can't undo it. But that's the kind of thing on the back of the Nix. You see that tech? I like it.
Yeah, it's a good feature.
One got some stuff for a friend, Nicole.
Yeah, so this is a black rain jacket, but it has highly reflective gear on it, and it's got front pockets so you can put your keys and stuff in it, but check out the flap at the back. When it does rain and you don't want to get your butt wet or have stuff flick up from the back, it's got a little fluoro flap that holds down at the
And
back.
I lost my hat in the flap. Are we going in here for lunch?
Yeah.
Sweet, lunch. I can't figure it out. I'll take you. Oh, here we go.
No,
Cool.
at the back, down the bottom. Yeah, now you can see.
And we've got a helmet for Nicole as well.
Yeah, it's on the Prevails. It's hard to get
Good help these days.
good helmets these days.
Helmets were $60.
Yeah.
Helmets are quite expensive in Australia. We have the most stringent certification policies when it comes to helmets being certified. A lot of them can't be sold here in Australia. They have to have Australian government standard approval.
I can't go anywhere right
Yeah,
now.
but this guy can move. He's not moving because of you. Move. You move. They can't come out.
Yeah,
Move.
these guys are
You
coming
move.
out.
Fucking hell.
If you can back up.
No, don't. If you do back up, they'll only see the fucking. There you go. So we have the most stringent helmet policies here in Australia, and we have the most stupid people trying to park their cars. I think it is about $40,000, well, so we're told, to get a certified helmet to be able to sell. So they've got to break them multiple times. We won't go into Australian helmet laws, but that's why helmets here are quite expensive. So $60, quite a good deal. Alrighty, here for lunch. Thanks for watching. Again, we will go live one day soon when we've got some bandwidth, and have a good weekend. See you soon. See you, Yvonne.
Ciao.